Hello everyone, and welcome to the second part of the preview for the next Steel Division 2 DLC, Feud in Transylvania. Let's make Dracula happy, and this time we have a look at the Hungarians. The DLC is on the way, but will still take a while till it's finished as Army General, and the map that is supposed to come with it are still work in progress, but the divisions are ready. It's Hungary versus Romania in 1944 when Romania switches the side, so Romania is on the Allied side, Hungary stays on the Axis side, and Hungary is sending one of its best armored formations, the second Pancelos, into there. So that is why we get this division here. That is the story behind it, and it's a really solid division. So let's have a look onto this new armored faction bit by bit, starting with the Recon tab. As here we have a classic Hungarian loadout. BMW with an MG, sadly no radio on these. The Felderito with the classic two-man recon squadron with two MP40s. Sadly also no fancy transports here. Really not even a Kübelwagen with MG or so, just normal transport, so the BMW would be the best here. The Chaba as another vehicle for this tab with good availability, but only in Soluthorn anti-tank rifle and an MG as weapons. The Soluthorn, the issue here is the range. The penetration otherwise would be somewhat fine, and the rate of fire as well, but the range is really lackluster with 500, so you have to get really close to enemy vehicles to do something to them. But if you can ambush enemy light transports, you can do a bit with this. Then the Toldi 2A, which has better range with 1000 meters, a solid gun, though really lackluster frontal armor, but the gun here is solid for a 25-point vehicle, and it having recon optics is quite nice as well, so the Toldi is really getting you places. Then the Lovash Felderituk, these are 12-man strength recon units, pretty solid, also in the old Hungarian divisions as well, and with the FEG, which is a pretty good rifle as it has extra accuracy, and the Danuvia and the Soluthorn has decent weapons as well. These have a good amount of firepower for 12-man recon squad. Obviously, the availability is a bit lackluster, but as you get them at veterancy, I would say, with the slots you get here, you might want to take one of these. And then the Panzer 3M, showing you that German support is coming in this Hungarian formation. And the 3M with a lovely Hungarian rondel is looking quite nice as well. Mostly grey color, but a bit of extra paint job here done on this one. And then we go to the infantry tab, where we start with the Kerik Pajok, which is a 20-point unit with 13 strength, which is quite nice. Danuvia 43M, also the better version of the Danuvia SMG here in this one, so that is quite nice as well, as the Danuvia already was a solid SMG, but this one has 5% more accuracy than the Danuvia 39, so it's a really solid SMG here. FEG, Soluthorn, giving this a pretty decent firepower. The Lovesh is similar thing. Only thing that changes is that you get a Panzerfaust, but you lose one man, and you switch down to the worse SMGs, to the 39, though still solid SMGs. So this is a solid loadout here, that you can both choose an A, but not too big of a contingent. Then the classic unit for this tank formation are the Motorlöwesch, which are similar to both of the others as well, but they get an MG42 instead of a Soluthorn, which gives them a good amount of extra firepower, as the MG42 does more damage and has a way better rate of fire. And the Nuvia 43 also helpful, but they only come at 11 strength. They can come in the group, same thing here, the group being a bit faster than the Boton DA. So the Podont is a really slow track. The group at least goes 70, these only go 60 kmh, so you want a couple of units in the group for sure. in A phase to get to the front line quickly enough to solidify the front line. So yeah, mortar Löwesch, pretty solid unit. And then the mortar Löwesch 44 are a downgrade when it comes to the MG, as they go back to the Solid Thorn 31, but they are an upgrade when it comes to the AT, and a big one at this, as the 44M Catchy Raketovetto. I most likely butchered this name, as I butcher most of the Hungarian names. I'm thoroughly sorry for that, but it's really not an easy language. And this one is their go on a recoilless rocket launcher with 66mm rockets, so basically similar to the bazooka. It has 190mm penetration, has 80% accuracy, 10% damage. Nice Hungarian weapon for the late war. Nice Hungarian homemade design, and it's coming in good availability unit. So having basically a cheap version of Pennsylvania Panzerschrecks. You obviously don't get 2 SMGs in here, or LMGs in here, but in general still, and this one is a bit worse than a Panzerschreck, as it only deals 10 instead of 12 damage. 12 damage one-shotting heavy tanks, 10 damage not doing so. So you need 2 penetrations against the King Tiger, or an IS-2, or Churchill Crocodile or so to kill them. But still a really nice unit, for 20 points especially. So yeah, giving you a bit more force in the anti-tank department. And then Moto leaders with 5 Danuvias for 25 points. Good leader option as well. Obviously, fitting them in here is a bit tough, but one card I would say you can fit in, and 5 Danuvia 43 is a good SMG loadout. Smoke grenades, always helpful. So with a solid availability, this is a nice leader. Also the 37 Group PK that is coming in as a cabriolet is really nice. And then Moto Aksharok as your TNT option, which are a decent classic style TNT option. 5 availability, 10 availability, 15, so similar to other Exos Pioneers. An MG42 and 2 Danuvias, 11 man strength. So pretty much better version of the German Pioneers. The FEG also being a pretty good rifle, but yeah, not super fancy either. Just a standard TNT with a bit better average. Then we come to the strong suit of this deck, the really strong suit, the Moto Löwesch with their AT rocket launcher, already really nice. The tank tab here is really cool though, as you start with Toldi commands, so that's already nice, as these have good availability. You get Turan 2s, 2 cards, not as much as in Löwesch, but still 2 cards of Turan 2s is nice. 1 card of Turan 1s, 1 card of Turan 2s, that way around. A Turan 1 leader, a Turan 2 leader, and then you get high-end tanks as well. You get the low-end, cheap and spammable, and pretty efficient tanks, and you get the high-end tanks to give you the bigger punch if needed. Panzer Force in a lovely paint scheme, and then Tigers and Parduks, Panthers, Hungarian Panthers in the game now as well, and also 1 Panther Ace with an extra paint job in the form of Parduk PK Tajai. So the Ace in this deck as well. The Tigris and the Parduk, the Panther and the Tiger, really being helpful and giving this the extra punch that you want. And you can fill in a lot of these tanks, so you won't run out of tanks in this deck. And you can choose what you want to get where as well. Tiger and Panther only coming in A and B though, so you don't get endless of them. Playing balanced, you might have to rely on Tyrants in C-phase, for example, but that could be worthwhile, as you get a lot of these in C-phase if you take them there. So yeah, a lot of considerations to be done here, as they jump from 9 to 18. This is a pretty big jump here on the Turan 1s. So if you want, you could go for a 36 Turan 1 spam in C-phase with a balanced deck. But that is obviously up to you. Support, completely classic. A lot of MG34s, 1 Schwarlose, some Langjorok. The commander versions are the Panzer IV in the lovely Hungarian camouflage. the Chaba, and the Steyr. So decent options, but nothing too fancy. And the bottom D supply is a classic 10,000 supply truck, just a bit slow here as well. Anti-tank, you get the catchy Raketavetto as well. And you get the Panzerschreck. The Raketavetto has better availability. So as you get them already in the infantry, I don't know if it's worthwhile taking them here extra. I would say going with the 97 38M is for sure not wrong at all. Then maybe taking a Pak 40 on top, and then maybe taking the Stuk 3G, as this is a G, not an F version in the anti-tank tab here. And it's actually cheaper than normal Stuk 3s, so if that stays this way, this is absolutely worthwhile. It's a 70-point Stuk 3G. It still has an MG, AP, and EG shells. It's pretty worthwhile. So I would highly recommend taking this at the moment. Yeah, gives you a bit more good mid-range as well in attack, where you have a lot of low end, you have a good amount of high end, and a bit extra mid-range here can help out as well. And then we come to the fanciest part of this, Nimrods for days. And Nimrod is the best AA piece in the game. It has a good medium range, it has really good lethality, because unlike all the other 40 and 37mm AA pieces, this thing still has 16 accuracy. Back when all AAs of this level had 16 accuracy, they were super deadly. And this one still has it. It's the only one remaining. But in this deck, unlike in Lovash where you get 1 card of Nimrods, you get 6 cards of Nimrods. And the Nimrod 42 has a heat shell similar to the Landswerk. That's why it's 10 points more expensive. The heat shell here is not too amazing, but yeah, this is there to also limit maybe the Nimrod amounts a bit. Yeah, because these also have slightly lower availability, but you can take them with veterancy easily, and then go with a lot of these Nimrods. And like this alone would already be enough to clean everything that comes at you out of the sky. Obviously, it's a bit of an investment here, but like even if you just buy 4, you can keep your sky clean usually. Nimrods, if you keep them alive, are really strong. They're easy to push with as they are fast and they're relatively well armored, so you do not have to worry as much as for other AA. And as I said, the 16 accuracy compared to all the others with only 14 is really big for AA. Accuracy on AA is super important. There's a reason why, for example, these guys here start at only 10% accuracy, as every shot of AA, yeah, and especially on these with high rate of fire, increases the accuracy on a target, and these here get to max accuracy way quicker than the ones with only 14, as the way it adds up is by adding half of your base accuracy on top. So this adds always 8 accuracy on top of each shot instead of only 7, and then from that on further, so you get high quite quickly. Artillery over here is quite nice as well, as the 149mm is a good artillery gun, and you get 3 cards of these. You get an off map, that's nice as well, and then you get some lovely classic artillery leaders as well with FEGs, so dealing a bit more damage than normal, but not too important. The mortars are standard. The LE8 FH just has a nice paint job, but nothing else here on this is too fancy. And then in the air, you get a JU88D1 with 4 availability as a recon, or a Focke-Wulf 189 with 2 availability but bombs as recon. This can be quite nice. The ME 210 with 2 250 kilogram bombs, a decent fighter bomber as well. G6 and G6R6, decent fighters. The G6R6 a bit slow, the G6 a bit low firepower, but still decent enough. G6R1, a solid fighter bomber with good availability here as well. 250 kilogram bomb on that one is nice. And then the JU88s come with nice availability in B-phase. At least this one does, with 250 kilogram bomb. And one cluster bomber if you need more anti-tank. Though I don't know if you do that, because your tank tab is fine. would say bombers are the way to go here. So yes, a really good all-round deck. You have amazing AA. You have, like, this might most likely is the best AA tab in the game. Like I think I would go with this AA tab. You have a good infantry tab, but the slots here are limited. The units you get also, you lack a bit of flamethrowers or long range firepower. All your guys only have maximum 1 MG. At least you get an MG42 on some of them, which is nice. But you obviously could use more if there would be more. And you're running out of infantry eventually, for sure. So you have to be a bit careful with that. But the 20-point infantry you get is quite nice. The Jorok infantry here can do its job as well. Just have to be a bit careful. I guess this deck is best run Maverick, as the Tigers and Panthers also max out on that in B-phase. So, in general, a really well-rounded deck, and might rival Lovesh for the best Hungarian deck. Or most likely will do so, though Lovesh obviously has the better infantry. So, yeah, will be a lot of fun to play when it's around. If you liked the video, consider leaving a like down below, and subscribe so you don't miss the next preview video coming up. And yeah, let me know what you think about second Pancelos. I would say it's a pretty nice division, and I'm really looking forward. Doesn't look too OP either, but just like a really fancy and cool new tool to play with. That's it. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye, and have a great day.